The Little Green Frog. Chapter 10. Money for the Hospital. Jock was at the door knocking before Biddy had finished her breakfast. Maria answered the door. "Why, Jock, what an early bird you are." "Good morning, Maria. May I speak to Biddy, please?" "She's not finished with her breakfast yet. Have you had yours?" "Yes, ma'am, but I think I could still eat some more." Maria laughed. "Come in the kitchen and you can have some hot chocolate and toast and jelly." Maria poured hot chocolate for Jock as he climbed up on the high kitchen stool. "Why are you so early?" she asked. "Biddy wants to earn money for her parents to build a hospital with. Yesterday we caught caterpillars and made $1.32. I came over to tell her that we can work for Mrs. Brown today." "How nice. Are you looking for some more jobs?" "Yes, we are. Do you have something for us?" "Well, I'll be doing some baking today, and I'll need some help with the extra dishes." "Ugh," Jock scowled. "I don't much like doing dishes, but if Biddy can catch caterpillars, I guess I can do it." "Do what?" asked Biddy as she came into the kitchen. "Wash dishes," said Jock. "Come on, I'll tell you all the plans." He pulled her toward the door. "We'll be back later, Maria. Save the dishes for us." Once outside, Jock shared his good news. "We can make lots of money, Biddy. There are all kinds of jobs we can do." They hurried off to the farm to see what Mrs. Brown had for them to do. "I have to go into town today and do some shopping. I'd like to have you children play with the baby and keep her happy until I come back." "That will be fun," said Biddy. "We'll see about that," said Mrs. Brown as she picked up her purse. "I'll be back in about 3 hours." As soon as Mrs. Brown closed the door, baby Amy began to cry. "Oh, don't cry, Amy. Here, play with this ball." Jock handed her a bright red ball, but Amy just slapped it and cried harder. "Maybe we could find something for her to eat," said Biddy. "A cracker or a cookie." They found some soft cookies in the cookie jar and gave one to Amy. Soon she stopped crying and began to play with her toys. While she played, Jock and Biddy talked about things that they could do to make more money. "This is lots more fun than making money for yourself," Jock said, "especially when I know that it will help to let other people learn about Jesus." Biddy thought of all the people who would come to the hospital to get well and who would hear about the Lord Jesus. "We might have to work for a long time. I think it takes lots of money to build a hospital." Soon Mrs. Brown was home. She laughed when she saw the cookie crumbs on Amy's face. "It looks like Biddy and Jock now know how to make a baby happy," she said. "If there's anything else we can do for you, we'd be glad to help," offered Biddy. "Do you know how to sew?" asked Mrs. Brown. "I can sew a little," said Biddy. "Buttons and hems and seams." "You wait right here," said Mrs. Brown. "I'll be right back." When she returned, she was carrying a small yellow basket with shirts in it. "If you'll sew on the missing buttons and fix the tears in the pockets, I'd be glad to pay you for your help," she said. "Oh, thank you," exclaimed Biddy. "I'll be very careful and try to do a good job." Mrs. Brown gave them each $1 and they ran off to help Maria wash dishes. "I've never seen 2 children work so hard," said Maria. Jock stood on a chair at the sink with a big apron tied around his waist. He was scrubbing a sticky pan. Biddy was drying plates and glass baking dishes. "We want to get lots of money for the hospital," she said. Just then Aunt Hannah came into the kitchen. "Biddy, Jock, what are you doing?" Biddy looked frightened. She had forgotten that Aunt Hannah had been angry when they sold plums in town. "Maria," answered Aunt Hannah. "They've come to help me, ma'am," said Maria. "I'll pay them from my own money. It's for the hospital." "Oh yes, I'd forgotten about that. Well, I suppose this is much better way than having you go all around town selling plums. And you really are helping. Just don't let your ambitions turn into greed." "We won't," said Biddy. "It's God's money, so that people can hear about Jesus." When the dishes were done and the kitchen was clean, Maria gave them blueberry pie and $1 whole each.